Our brains weren't really designed for what life is like now. The speed, the noise, the screens, and the devices that we all use to get through work, to get through daily life. Today, we're going to talk about nature immersion and what shifts when we're with nature, and how can that offer us a way to balance out some of the effects of modern life on our bodies, our mental health, and our physical well-being. Nature is remarkable. Something automatically shifts when we're outside and helps us with this bombardment of modern life. The indoor time, the bombardment of signs and noise and rush, our need for devices that keep us focused downwards or keep us up late at night just trying to get everything done. If we are outside, it's often rushing from thing to thing, distracted and not really enjoying it until we kind of hit a wall where we're like, whoa, what is this? I'm feeling isolated. I might even feel disconnected from the people that I most want to be spending time with, and you're not even quite sure how that happened. We just hit the schlump, is what I call it. Well, let's talk today about nature immersion. What is it, and what benefits does it offer us, and how might it help us out? You can think of it as sensory curiosity and openness. Think of a beautiful flower and what happens when you catch a bloom when it's really in that ripe color. Or a walk in the forest with trees and quiet, or even gazing at the sky with open eyes. Maybe there's a tree in your yard or a nearby park that you sit under for a few minutes. In each of these simple examples, and I encourage you to try them yourself, we can shift into sensory present experience. And why that's important is it lets us move into our parasympathetic nervous system and out of the fight or flight type of nervous system. It lets us slow down, regain our capacity for attention and for wonder, and even just slowing down our breathing. It's not about exercise in nature or heart rate or steps. It's truly about sensory rich experience. And that sensory rich experience through each of our 5 major senses is one of the best free, simple ways to counteract the effect of modern life's dependence on devices and computer time and all the things that we use as tools. Nature is our companion in coming back into our bodies and what we're capable of. Well, what specifically happens to our brains when we're in nature? Right? Like, is there science behind this? Well, yes, there is. And how cool is that? That has really taken off in the last few decades. And the most recent studies show that about 20 minutes of outdoor time with some intention a few times a week is enough to really gain all the wonderful benefits of being with nature in terms of letting ourselves slow down, reducing stress and cortisol, restoring our attention, reducing anxiety and rumination, improving mood and focus. All of these things are what becomes possible with simple times in nature. And there's other effects that might not be that we immediately think of. We can start to kindle a sense of belonging that maybe some of us are missing, right? We might find a wonderful way to connect with our loved ones, our families, our friends, our pets. Our sleep improves with more fresh air and outdoor time. Even things like grounding, which you maybe heard a lot about, we're connecting with this earth that supports us. Our ability to be with ourselves and our own sensations and thoughts, and to just feel that gratitude. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about my personal story and how I came to really value the place of nature in my life. So you might be wondering who's talking to me in these videos. Well, my name is Jennifer. I'm the person that's behind Ordinary Nature Connection. And I thought I'd tell you a little bit about my story and how I turned to nature during a difficult time of my life when everything else wasn't quite working for me. So I had a baby sort of by surprise, a welcome surprise, when I was in my late 40s. And when my daughter was maybe around 6 months old and she was super fussy, sort of intuitively, one morning I just took her outside and put her on the ground. And there were some wood chips next to her in the landscaping, and she just sort of started playing with that. And within a minute, she had soothed herself and had calmed down. And a light bulb really went off for me, which was that, oh, okay, this is my way through the newborn years. And then I just kind of kept rolling with that through the toddler and preschool years. And then I got really interested in, wow, like what is this effect of nature upon children? And what ended up happening is I did a lot of research in that. And then a few years into it, I realized, oh, I also could really use some nature connection time for my own physical and mental health. And so I sort of shifted my lens a little bit and got kind of then very interested in, okay, well, what about for adults who maybe have tried other things? Maybe they've tried, I don't know, like meditation, or they've tried traditional therapy, or they've tried antidepressants and medication, whatever it may be. We're often trying different things to see what works for us. And for me, I eventually arrived kind of back where I started with my daughter, which was, oh yeah, you know what? I think that what's really going on with me is something that I can navigate through intentionally having little doses of time outside with nature, more or less every day. And that's sort of where my passion comes from, is how can there be these ordinary, non-fancy ways that are accessible for everybody to get outside and to create kind of special little nature places for ourselves and our families. And so that's the kind of origin story behind what I do. And then I kind of, went on and got some training professionally in forest bathing and in nature ritual and in eco-spiritual counseling. So there's kind of that dimension of me too, but the spark or the beginning really comes from a very personal story of how nature for me is how I was able to rediscover a sense of belonging with a broader world that I hadn't really been raised with, and I hadn't really been able to find it in other places, and that's sort of what it's become about for me. So that's the little story of where I'm coming from, and I hope that in this video, the overview I'm offering, and now I'm going to kind of shift and talk about some very simple practices that you too can bring into your life. Okay, we'll continue. Bye-bye. So you might be asking yourself, well, that's all great, Jennifer, but how do I practice nature immersion when I have a full life and I can't just go to the forest all the time? Well, the wonderful thing is simple places near where you probably already live work. It could be a public park. It could be even like this landscaped courtyard in a city. It might be a backyard. It might just be a bench under a tree in a park. It doesn't have to be something that's pristine wilderness. It doesn't have to be going camping for a month. It can even be on your porch with plants, or if you need to, through a window looking out at a tree or a flower. Find just little free, simple ways close to where you live that you can weave into your daily life. And then just play with it and explore. Enjoy each of your senses with one being in nature. Maybe it's a tree or a flower, some little detail that maybe even you never thought to stop and look at. It could be a pod on the sidewalk. It could be the way the light hits the leaf in a tree. Maybe it's a bird that you hear or a color that you've never seen before. All of these ways that are free and simple and let you enjoy all of your senses and rich presence work. Try it out. Let me know what works for you and what you find shifts when you immerse yourself in nature a little bit every day. For more free resources, check out my description for my channel, and you'll see some great options there for you for how to explore your ordinary nature connection. Bye.